Well, hello.
With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true Lord strong and free.
Oh, it's official. The president has imposed
The imposition of 25% tariffs.
25% tariffs.
Canada is the most beautiful country in the world, and just to be around a bear like this, BC's most famous iconic bear, the spirit bear of British Columbia, it was really, really special moment. I've lived on the BC coast for many years, and I've become, good friends with many of the First Nations up and down the coast. And Marvin Robinson of the Gitgat First Nation called me and said, I need you to come here and help me celebrate this place, help us protect it. And he took me to this beautiful creek. All of a sudden you see this white ghost come out of the forest, and I was so caught up in the moment that I was 3 feet away from it. I was just like, this is it. It really is sort of an out-of-body experience. And I have to go through my camera later just to make sure that I wasn't dreaming up, that I had a spirit bear, a meter away from me. It just really is a powerful, powerful moment. I have traveled all around the world. Like for 22 years, I shot for National Geographic in almost every corner of the world. And every time I come home, I'm like, Canada really is so rich. And I just need to constantly remind people with my camera of how beautiful this country is. Just the peace and the calm and the beauty of it all is just really one of the greatest gifts.
You are not wrong. Thank you for the gift of those photos.
Tesla. Going on now at the White House Tesla Auto Mall. It's the biggest sale of the year.
Very safe, it's very strong, heavy. It's all steel, stainless steel.
Come on down to Pennsylvania Avenue, just off Route 29, to get our best deal ever on a brand new Tesla.
I want to make a good deal here. They have one, which is $35,000, which is pretty low.
Get a Model 1 with a different panel and everything's computer.
This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
So don't waste your time going to those other Tesla dealerships with riots and flaming cyber trucks. You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
I love Tesla.
You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
This is really amazing.
Tesla. Now, Musk is about to roll out a new business venture in Hollywood. It's a 24-hour diner and drive-in theater where Tesla drivers can charge their cars while eating a burger. Will Musk be welcome, given all the controversy that he's creating in Washington? Well, we asked KCAL News reporter Nicole Comstock to find out. She's live in Hollywood tonight. Okay, let's hear it, Nicole.
Well, Pat, you have to admit, it looks a lot like a UFO. But some people say even though they love that signature Tesla style, they don't want to take this ride with Elon Musk anymore now that he's involved with Doge. But other people say, you know what, Tesla makes great products and experiences, and everything in life doesn't always have to be about politics. It's a new concept, dinner and a drive-in movie while you charge your car. The Tesla diner is coming sometime soon to Santa Monica Boulevard. But is Hollywood hungry for another Elon Musk business now that he's also running Doge?
I don't want to say anything, I'm sorry.
Because it's all mixed up, the cars, the persons, the politics.
I'm neutral. I'm gonna say neutral, and I leave it up to people to decide.
A lot of people we talked with, both tourists and locals, said they found it hard to separate Tesla Elon from Trump Elon. People have protested outside SpaceX, and someone recently lit Teslas on fire at a dealership. Musk has reportedly been trying to get high-profile chefs to provide the food at Tesla Diner, and many are reportedly reluctant. In fact, restaurants we asked didn't want to be involved in the story at all, saying they didn't want their menus to make a political statement.
It bothers me that he's been given free hand without any legal authority to destroy the jobs of tens of thousands of hardworking Americans.
California bought the most Teslas in the world. And then he turned around and he stabbed us in the back and went with crazy whack job Trump.
To shrink the federal government and create a new drive-in experience. Tom Dion thinks people who love the cars will come around to loving the diner too.
If you're going to take that route, I mean, you can find any political stance and
boycott any business that you don't align yourself with. But it's a great product. People love it.
And people do love experience-based businesses, so I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is eventually packed when it opens up. We're told there will be food here, but who is making that food? Still up in the air for now.
Canada, it's time for more us. Because we're more than just a place on a map. We're an attitude, one with more empathy than ego, more unity than division, more grit, go, and we got this. The more we choose to stand up as our most flag-flying, maple leaf buying, local adventuring selves, the more we are the true north, unbreakable, strong, and free.
Water is not the only thing that's entered Aura nightclub on Granville Street from the Howard Johnson SRO above.
So this is a ventilation shaft that goes up to the outside exterior of the building.
Last August, bar owner Alan Goodall's general manager crawled up to an unusual intruder.
There's a small little ventilation, and he's dropped his body down through here.
Vancouver police received a report of someone seen going into a duct about 25 centimeters wide on the roof of the building on August 27th.
Once you're up here, if you don't know where you're going, it'd be next to impossible to get out of here.
It was hard to believe, he says, while police could not confirm it actually happened.
We got a couple of ladders you got to go through here.
2 days later, firefighters were called for a potential entrapment.
He's going to be coming down.
A crew there is probably pretty surprised to see and actually find a person who is in there.
Lo and behold, Stuart was up there.
The Lugat resident was talked down and able to wiggle himself out of the vent unscathed.
How they got there or why they got there, I think that's probably a better question for VPD.
A close call for you.
Absolutely.
Stuart Holcomb believes he was stuck for a day and a half.
It was scary. I was scared, but I didn't know what to do. Someone was out on the roof, so I went out there to help them clean the debris off there. Some of the stuff fell in this hole that's an air vent, I guess. And when I tried to reach down and get it, I thought I could just go down head first and I would fit, but I didn't, and my arms were pinned behind me and I was stuck.
I was told that by the sort of partner in crime that they were trying to break into Aura. They confided in that because the person he was with was adamant that his friend was down there and he was worried about him because he hadn't seen him in 10 or 12 hours.
He was actually the first one out there cleaning up the debris, and he seen me kind of go in the hole and not come back out.
This was nothing to do with the break-in?
No, I was cleaning the ledge, actually.
This is his shoe. There was also a drill that was up here.
Months later, Goodall says the vent remains unsealed and a safety risk.
The thought of someone dying up in my attic, not knowing they were there, and it seems to me it's a fairly easy fix to prevent it from happening, and so far nothing's been done yet.
Holcomb grateful he was rescued.
Thank him profusely, yeah.
CBSA agents stopped a large amount of cocaine from coming into the country at the Coutts border crossing, and now a Calgary truck driver is facing charges. Agents discovered 108 kilograms of cocaine hidden in a truck. The drugs were found after a secondary examination of the truck. The truck's load was originally coming from the U.S.
Let's go. Mr. Prime Minister, Mike Myers, what are you doing here?
I just thought I'd come up and check on things.
You live in the States.
Yeah, but I'll always be Canadian.
But you live in the States.
Yeah, so?
Do you remember Mr. Dressup?
The children's show on CBC?
What were the names of Mr. Dressup's two puppet friends?
Casey and Finnegan?
Bud
Spud?
Howie?
Meeker?
Capital Saskatchewan?
Regina?
Tragically?
Pip?
You're a defenseman, defending a 2-on-1. What do?
Take away the pass, obviously.
What are the 2 seasons in Toronto?
Winter and construction.
Wow. You really are Canadian.
Yeah. But let me ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right. Elbows up.
Elbows up.
People on both sides of the Detroit River came together today to rally against the Trump administration's desire to annex Canada. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he wants to make Canada the 51st state of the U.S. The president has also engaged in a trade war after imposing tariffs on our long-standing ally. Hundreds were at Hart Plaza today to protest the president's rhetoric and to show solidarity with our neighbor.
I think the Canadian people do understand that most of us don't want this, but at the same time, you can only push people so far. And you don't want to put bad blood in anybody else's mouth by, gouging your allies, gouging your neighbors. This isn't what we are as a human race. We shouldn't be divisible and divided.
Now, chants of "We Dissent" and the Canadian anthem were heard before waving to Canadians that were gathered across the river.
This not wanted convicted felon poster of U.S. President Donald Trump was seen plastered onto a bus shelter in Calgary's Beltline neighborhood Wednesday. Along with a photo of Trump, a description included aliases for him like Cheeto Bonito, Putin's puppet, and Diaper Dawn. The poster also said Trump is, quote, considered armed and dangerous for constant threats to harm and invade Canada.
I think it's really funny, personally.
It's unclear who was behind this poster, but it comes just weeks after another bus stop in downtown Calgary had a sign plastered onto it that read, Premier Trump, Province of America. Astral, which manages advertising for both bus shelters, called the first instance vandalism. City News reached out to them on this latest incident, but did not hear back in time for broadcast.
It was a shocking find for a pair of friends visiting Edmonton who wanted to take a photo in front of the statue. As they got closer to that tribute to Wayne Gretzky, this is what they found. They saw what appeared to be and strongly smelled like feces all over that statue. They then watched an employee of Rogers Place, where the Oilers play, use a towel soaked in cleaning product to restore the statue's face. Gretzky has been getting a lot of negative attention from Canadians lately, unhappy with his public support of U.S. President Donald Trump. That's him there with his wife at Trump's inauguration back in January. It's become that attention has become especially pronounced lately with Trump's ongoing tariff war and also his musings about annexing Canada. Then there was this moment at the Four Nations tournament in February when Canada faced the U.S. in the final. Gretzky was Canada's honorary captain, and he decided to wear a suit instead of a Canadian jersey like the U.S. honorary captain did for his team. He also gave a thumbs up to the American team and walked onto the ice from their bench. Some fans have said this all complicates their relationship with Gretzky. They say that he's a Canadian icon, but at the same time, they would rather he show support for Canada at this time.
Oh my God. A jolt that caffeine can't beat. Never seen that before. 3 cougars prowling through the hills of Summerland, cutting through the Radzinski's backyard.
All 3 of them came down the hill and just came across our backyard, and my video camera, security camera, caught them coming across this area around the shed.
The shocking sight, a first for them.
So it was a really big surprise. I mean, we've seen raccoons here, but this was certainly the biggest Okanagan safari moment, I can call it.
The carnivorous cougars tracked on many cameras in the neighborhood. Bear, the Bichon Shih Tzu, has caught their scent.
My dog Bear follows his tracks and just digs his nose into the ground wherever it's walked.
The large cat is a regular visitor to her yard. That's why Bazo takes extra precautions when it comes to her canine companion.
Yummy. So I don't take my dog out into the backyard or the side yard in the evening. I take him out only to the front yard here, early mornings and late at night, and stay really close to him.
Security camera footage electrifying social media, the community comparing shots and keeping an eye out for each other.
speaking of all things Canada, Mississauga Mayor Carolyn Parrish says the city has started taking down American flags. She said on X, quote, "At the request of many, the city has begun removing all American flags from sports arenas and locations along Lake Ontario, including the pier at Snug Harbor and Port Credit. Oversized Canadian flags are being ordered and will be installed on all poles at City Hall." Here's what some Mississauga residents have said.
It's good that we have more Canadian flags. It's part of the identity, and in these times, it's important to have to be together and be strong, and of course have identity, right?
I'm all for it. I love Canada, and I want to do everything I can to support our beautiful country.
I've never been prouder to be Canadian, so I'm all for it. Fly the Canadian flags.
Mississauga, not the first to do this. Earlier this month, Barrie's mayor ordered the removal of all American flags from city-owned facilities like hockey arenas in response to the tariffs.
"2,000 people eagerly await the opening movement of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, but tonight, Maestro David Briskin does something unexpected. Our national anthem fills the Four Seasons Center for the Performing Arts. Patrons stand and cheer, and some even sing along.
I wanted it to be authentic, and I said, so let's not commit to how long we do it, how many performances, let's give it a try. But the result was just beyond anyone's imagination. It seemed to have provided a cathartic moment.
It catches some by surprise. There's no announcement beforehand. Briskin says it started about 10 days ago with a recommendation by one of his orchestra members.
This is a moment to take one anthem that we all know, that we all sing, and raise our voices as one in show of support for one another and for the country.
The anthem opening is part of a 17-show run of Swan Lake performed by the National Ballet of Canada. The arts offer an escape from the daily political headlines, especially the ongoing tariff wars. Still, Briskin says this is in no way a political statement.
It's really touched me quite deeply to see the response. As I said, you know, we hear "O Canada" before a hockey game, and we hear it at a baseball game, and it's kind of pro forma, or we'll hear it sung kind of stylized by someone. But this is just a very straightforward singing of the anthem, which just provides a moment of clarity and unity, and I think just a little bit of catharsis for people in these times.
And patrons seem to welcome the patriotic opening.
Although it's not the greatest circumstances that we start doing these things more often and start feeling this national pride, I'm really grateful for it, and it's something that we really need.
And I was so happy to be here, to be able to stand up and then sing the national anthem as well. So if they continue on, it's in solidarity for the whole nation.
From homes to businesses and even cars, the red and white is everywhere. So it's no surprise that this flag store is seeing a surge in demand.
The volumes of people that we're seeing and the volumes of orders that we're getting are
usually what we would have on the lead up to Canada Day.
They've been seeing this before Flag Day, and it's only increased since.
What is really noticeable for our business is the flagpole kits that we sell that are behind me there, which suggests we're selling a lot of those, way more than normal. It suggests that a lot of these customers are first-time flag flyers.
But this isn't just about a flag. It's something bigger. A new survey by Ledger Marketing suggests national pride has skyrocketed, with 86% of people saying they're proud to be Canadian.
How do you feel about being Canadian?
Good. Good.
Good. Really good about being Canadian.
I mean, I feel the most proud now than I ever really have.
It feels better than ever to be Canadian.
For many, it's the ongoing trade battle with the U.S. Others say it's just a renewed love for the country.
Globally right now, it's quite unstable, led by the U.S. You know, we have to realize how great we have it here in Canada.
And when all this stuff comes up, you really realize, and it puts things into perspective of how good it's been for so long and how strong we are as a country staying together and staying true to what we believe in.
Most of the people I know are just really welcoming and accepting and kind. I've always felt this way, but now I feel like it's like more, you know, because like of all of this changes around.
At the flag store, they hear customers say buying a flag is their way of taking a stand.
This has been a Sleepy Terrier production 2025. You lot still here? Remember, elbows up, fight tyranny.